welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box, episode 27, game week 22 review. I thought it was going to be a quiet one this week, and then the banter exploded in the last couple of days, which is absolutely awesome. And these Banter in the Box videos are proving very popular. Last week's Banter in the Box video received 96 views. There's only 28 managers in the league. God knows who's watching it, but it's great. That isn't even the highest. Episode 22 of Banter in the Box got 104 views on YouTube, which is the current record. And even though it was filmed 5 weeks ago, it's still getting a couple of views every week, even now. So this is great. Anyway, another busy week in the Family Fantasy Football League. We've got the league table highlights. Freudian slip. Key worker plea, and the quote marks are deliberate. Vaccine queue jumping, and a manager of the season update. So here's the bottom of the table. Only 2 managers went into the transfer market this week. No tactical gambits played either. At the bottom of the table, Ray Porter, debut manager, spent a 4th consecutive week at the bottom of the table, but he did close the gap slightly on second bottom Pez United, as Ray bids to avoid that wooden spoon in his debut season. And Nicholas Anelka continue to make up the relegation zone. 3 managers nominated to join next season. 2 returning managers, Henry Irving and Angela Moody, who hasn't been in the Family Fantasy Football League for quite a while. And 1 new manager, Steve Holmes, has nominated his son, whose name escapes me. Because we've only had 3 managers nominated, as it stands, only the bottom 3 will be relegated. If we get any more nominations, well, that will drag the team 4th from bottom, which at the moment is John Tustin, because no more than 4 managers can be relegated. And I say with 3 managers nominated, it means the bottom 3 will be relegated. The rule is the bottom 3 or bottom 4 managers are relegated from the league, or the bottom 4 managers who do not attend the end of season presentation awards. So if we do have a presentation awards and 3 managers don't attend, then the lowest 3 managers who don't attend will be relegated. And given that 4 current Family Fantasy Football League managers live abroad, an end of season presentation awards would probably save Nicola, Ryan and Ray, assuming they all attended the end of season presentation awards themselves. But if we don't have an end of season presentation awards, then the bottom 3, as things stand, will be relegated. Although there's still plenty of time for Ray, Ryan and Nicola to get out of the relegation zone. As for the end of season presentation awards, well, Boris has laid out the roadmap. It is looking very tight. I'm still, keeping everything crossed that we can have an end of season presentation awards, but it's going to be tight. Joe Whitty is monitoring the situation very closely. Whether we'll be able to have it in the current date of early June, time will tell. But anyway, onto the league table review. As I said, Ray Poulter spent a 4th consecutive week at the bottom of the table, with Ryan Perrin and Nicola Irving continuing to make up the current relegation zone. George Irving, Her Majesty's Secret Cervix, stayed 23rd despite being the lowest scorers this week. Just 4 points in a week. It's terrible. Very few changes at the bottom of the table, as you can see there. And Lyndon's Lovelies in 15th, stayed 15th despite getting a personal highest weekly total of 69 points, which coincidentally enough is Joe's favourite number. Here's the top half of the table. The Big Knobs manager Simon Hoxby stayed 14th, still in pole position for the February manager of the month, and there's only 2 days to go, so it's looking like £10 in the bank for Simon, thanks to excellent use of tactical gambits this month. In 11th place, Megan Hoxlade Chamberlain, with the biggest fallers this week, crashing 5 places down to 11th. That's the lowest position Megan has occupied since game week 5. The wheels have fallen off, and it's really close at the top of the table. Everyone's switching positions every week, but rising 1 place to 3rd, Thames Ironworks FC, with a second weekly win of the season, and third place is a season high for last season's Family Fantasy Football League runner-up. Arden Diamonds stays second and once again closes the gap on runaway leader Alexi Lagos, and they took a big chunk out of Alexi's lead this week. Arden Diamonds closing the gap by 34 points, so that means that Alexi is what? I think that's 165 points clear. He was 200 points clear 3 weeks ago, so the lead is steadily being whittled away every week. Maybe, just maybe, this title race isn't over. So that's your league table review. Now, Freudian slip. There was a comment made by Lyndon's Lovely's manager Jo Hoxby. She shocked everyone in the Family Fantasy Football League last week. Those of you that have seen last week's Banter in the Box will know that she got the manager of the season question right. Which manager holds the record for the biggest ever end of season winning margin, and what year did they set that record? The answer was Arden Diamonds manager Steve Holmes, and he set that record in 2008. Now, I thought that question would run for a few weeks, but Jo Hoxby got it quick as a flash in week 1 to pick up 2 manager of the season points and go 2 points clear at the top of the manager of the season table. Well, Benny United manager, no, sorry, not yet. Jo Hoxby had a comment on the Family Fantasy Football League YouTube channel when she said, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe I got that question right. So happy. Also, I haven't been Joe Revell since 1992, mate." Now, that is because those of you that saw last week's Banter in the Box video may have noticed that when I was announcing that Jo Hoxby had got the manager of the season question right, I inadvertently referred to her as Joe Revell rather than Jo Hoxby. Was that a Freudian slip on my part? Well, maybe it was, maybe it was. Careful what you wish for, love. So, key worker plea. Now, Benny United manager Mark Benwell had something to say about Lyndon's Lovely's manager Jo Hoxby getting last week's manager of the season question right. He said, he emailed FFFLHQ this week and said, "I can't believe that Jo got last week's manager of the season question right. How did she get it?" Well, I can reveal how she got it because Jo actually told me, because I was surprised as well. So I asked her, and have to say Jo earned her 2 manager of the season points that she got last week, because she went back to the Meet the Managers special videos at the start of the season, re-watched them, and those of you that watched the manager of the Meet the Managers Banter in the Box videos at the start of the season will know that when I do a little intro into every manager at the start of the season, I list all of their honours that they've had throughout their time in the Family Fantasy Football League. So Jo studied those Meet the Managers videos, and she was looking for someone that obviously not only won the league, but also recorded other things like highest weekly totals or highest goal scorer or highest number of weekly wins in the same season that they won the league. And she noticed that not only did Steve Holmes win the league in 2008, but he also picked up some lesser honours, shall we say, in that same season, and that's why she selected Steve Holmes in 2008. So that is how she got it right. She did her homework, Mark. Mark went on to say, "I realise that she has got too much time on her hands." Well, that is true. "Can you stop supporting her in her retirement and get her to start working? Give us key workers a chance." Well, I can't make any promises, Mark, but I'll see what I can do. Vaccine queue jumper. Another email reached FFFLHQ late last night. I sent out the game week 22 results yesterday and announced that Thames Ironworks FC manager Darren Revell had picked up a second weekly win of the season. Well, Darren Revell responded with an email on the back of that news, and his email referred to Benny United manager Mark Benwell. Darren said this: "Not bad for someone who's playing blind." Well, he's playing blind because he can't work out how to download a Microsoft Excel app or an app on his phone that reads Excel spreadsheet, so he can't actually see the players on his phone. He's old and a bit of a technophobe. And gets points deducted for Sushek. I've got no idea what that means. Also, Benny Boy has vaccine Q jumped. Unless he's a fat boy, I'm sure somewhere in the rules that's a point deduction. Well, this is because Benny United manager Mark Benwell, who is 55, so in vaccine group 8, has already been COVID vaccinated. Darren suggesting that Benny United manager Mark Benwell is queue jumping. Maybe he got ahead of the queue because Mark is a key worker. I don't know. Maybe food delivery drivers have got preferential treatment. Who knows? But I'm sure it's not because Mark's a fat boy, because as you can see in that photo there's not an ounce of fat on him. So can't really comment on whether there's anything in the rules that means that vaccine queue jumping is a points deduction, Darren. Well, actually, I can comment. There is nothing in the rules about that. But you know what? You make a good point. There should be something in the rules about vaccine queue jumping, deducting points. So I'll take it under advisement. Maybe we'll add something. And if we add it before the end of the season, then I will take those points away from Mark. So watch this space on that one, buddy. So, who the fuck is that? Last week's manager of the season question. That was your picture. It's a current FFFL manager. 1 point if you could tell me which FFFL manager that was. 3 managers had a go at this. Mark Benwell thought that it was a picture of Clockhouse Rangers manager George Moody. Megan Hoxby thought that it was a picture of Dustbin Dynamo's manager John Tustin. And current manager of the season leader Joe Revell thought that it was a picture of Ostrich Bar Stewards manager Steve Maloney. I can reveal that Lyndon's Lovely's manager Joe Hoxby was correct. It was a photo of Ostrich Bar Stewards manager Steve Maloney. So that is 1 manager of the season point for Joe. So here is the manager of the season table. Darren Revell got a manager of the season point for his email. Mark Benwell got a manager of the season point for his email. And Joe Hoxby got a point for getting last week's manager of the season question right, which means she is 3 points clear at the top of the table. Mark Benwell goes joint second on 14 points, and Darren Revell moves up to joint 12th on 3 points. This week's manager of the season question is this, as we were discussing earlier. In 2008, Arden Diamonds manager Steve Holmes, pictured there, set the record for the biggest ever winning margin at the end of the season. The question is, can you tell me how many points he won the league by? Now, I will give you 4 manager of the season points if you guess exactly what Steve Holmes' winning margin was in 2008. 4 points if you can tell me exactly. I'll give you 3 manager of the season points for anyone who can get within 5 points of the correct answer. I'll give 2 manager of the season points for anyone that can get within 10 points of the correct answer, and I'll give 1 manager of the season point for anyone who can get within 15 points of the correct answer. And if no one gets within 15 points of the correct answer, then we'll roll it over for a second week. So that's all you've got to do. Remember, 1 guess per week per manager. How many points did Arden Diamonds manager Steve Holmes win the league by in 2008? So that's it for game week 22 review, episode 27 of Banter in the Box. Join me next week for episode 28. Keep the banter coming, and as always, stay safe. Bye bye.